Hello everyone, myself Dr. Sanjay Kumar Soni, oral maxillofacial surgeon. In this video, I am going to discuss about the internal carotid artery and circle of Willis. Internal carotid artery, it begins at the level of the upper border of the thyroid cartilage. Then it passes through the carotid canal and along the side of the body of the sphenoid bone. It describes a double curvature and resembles the italic lateris through its course in the petrous part of temporal bone. The carotid artery supplies the anterior part of the brain, the eyes, and its appendages, and sends branches to the forehead and nose. To study the anatomy of internal carotid artery, we can divide it into four portions: cervical portion, petrous portion, cavernous portion, and cerebral portion. This portion of the internal carotid artery begins at the bifurcation of the common carotid artery opposite the upper border of thyroid cartilage. Then it runs perpendicularly upward in front of the transverse process of the upper three cervical vertebrae to the carotid canal in the petrous portion of the temporal bone. In the carotid triangle, it lies behind and lateral to the external carotid artery. The cervical portion of the internal carotid artery gives off no branches in this part. Now coming on to the petrous portion of the internal carotid artery. When the internal carotid artery enters the canal in the petrous portion of the temporal bone, it first ascends a short distance, then curves forward and medially, and again ascends as it leaves the canal to enter the cavity of the skull. The artery is separated from the bony wall of the carotid canal by a prolongation of dura mater and is surrounded by number of small veins and by filaments of the carotid plexus derived from the ascending branch of the superior cervical ganglia of the sympathetic trunk. Branches of petrous portion of internal carotid artery are carotid-tympanic artery and artery of the pterygoid canal. Carotid-tympanic artery are small branches of the internal carotid artery. They enter the tympanic cavity through a minute foramen in the carotid canal and anastomosis with the anterior tympanic branch of the internal maxillary and with the posterior tympanic branch of the stylomastoid artery. Artery of the pterygoid canal or Vidian artery is an artery in the pterygoid canal in the head. It usually arises from the external carotid artery but can also arise from the internal carotid artery or serve as an anastomosis between the internal and external carotid artery. Now, cavernous portion of the internal carotid artery. In this part, the artery is situated between the layers of the dura mater forming the cavernous sinus, but covered by the lining membrane of the sinus. It at first ascends toward the posterior clinoid process, then passes forward by the side of the body of the sphenoid bone, and again curves upward on the medial side of the anterior clinoid process and perforates the dura mater, forming the roof of the sinus. Branches of internal cavernous portion are cavernous artery, hypophyseal artery, semilunar artery, anterior meningeal artery, ophthalmic artery. Cavernous artery are small numerous vessels which supply the hypophysis, semilunar ganglia, walls of the cavernous and petrosal sinuses. Hypophyseal artery is an artery supplying the pars tuberculis, the infundibulum of the pituitary and the median eminence. Coming on to the semilunar artery are small vessels to the semilunar ganglia. Anterior meningeal artery is a small branch which passes over the small wing of the sphenoid bone to supply the dura mater of the anterior cranial fossa and it anastomosis with the meningeal branch of the posterior ethmoidal artery. Ophthalmic artery arises from the internal carotid artery distal to the cavernous sinus. It enters the orbital cavity through optic foramen. Ophthalmic artery supplies all the structures in the orbit as well as some structure in the nose, face and meninges. Branches of ophthalmic artery can be divided into orbital group and ocular group. In orbital group, the various branches are lacrimal, supraorbital, posterior ethmoidal, anterior ethmoidal, medial palpebral, frontal, dorsal nasal. And in ocular group are central artery of the retina, short posterior ciliary artery, long posterior ciliary artery, anterior ciliary artery, and muscular artery. Lacrimal artery, one of the largest branch of ophthalmic artery. It accompanies the lacrimal nerve along the upper border of the rectus lateralis and supplies the lacrimal gland, the eyelid, and conjunctiva. The lacrimal artery gives off one or two zygomatic branches, one of which passes through zygomatico-temporal foramen to reach the temporal fossa and anastomosis with the deep temporal arteries. Another appears on the cheek through the zygomatico-facial foramen and anastomosis with the transverse facial artery. A recurrent branch passes backward through the lateral part of the superior orbital fissure to the dura mater and anastomosis with the branches of the middle meningeal. Supraorbital artery supply the integument and muscles and the pericranium of the forehead. Ethmoidal artery are two in number, posterior and anterior. The posterior ethmoidal artery, the smallest, passes through posterior ethmoidal canal, supplies the posterior ethmoidal cells, and entering the cranium, it gives off a meningeal branch to the dura mater and nasal branches, which descends into the nasal cavity through aperture in the cribriform plate of ethmoid bone. The anterior ethmoidal artery accompanies the nasociliary nerve through the anterior ethmoidal canal, supplies the anterior and middle ethmoidal cells and frontal sinus. Frontal artery, one of the terminal branch of the ophthalmic artery, leaves the orbit at its medial angle with the supratrochlear nerve and ascending on the forehead supplies the muscles and pericranium and anastomosing with the supraorbital artery and with the artery of the opposite side. Dorsal nasal artery, the other terminal branch of the ophthalmic artery, it supplies the dorsum of the nose and its outer surface. Central artery of the retina, one of the smallest branch of the ophthalmic artery. It runs for a short distance within the dural sheath of the optic nerve, but about to 1.25 centimeter behind the eyeball. It pierces the nerve and runs forwards in the center of its substance to the retina. Ciliary arteries are three groups: the long and short posterior and the anterior. The short posterior ciliary arteries, it supply the choroid and ciliary processes, and other supply the structure of the eyeball. Muscular branches supply the muscle of the eyeball. Cerebral portion of the internal carotid artery. After piercing the dura mater on the medial side of the clinoid process, it passes between the optic and oculomotor nerve to the anterior perforated substance at the medial extremity of the lateral cerebral. It gives off its terminal branches that are anterior cerebral artery, middle cerebral artery, posterior communicating artery, and choroidal artery. Anterior cerebral artery. The anterior cerebral artery is one of the pair of arteries on the brain that supplies oxygenated blood to the most midline portion of the frontal lobe and superior medial parietal lobes. The two anterior cerebral arteries arise from the anterior carotid artery and form a part of the circle of Willis. Middle cerebral artery is one of the three major paired arteries that supply blood to the cerebrum. The middle cerebral artery arises from the anterior carotid artery and continue into the lateral sulcus, where it then branches and projects to many parts of the lateral cerebral cortex. One artery of this group is of larger size than the rest and is of special importance as being the artery in the brain most frequently rupture. It has been termed by Charcot the artery of cerebral hemorrhage. The posterior communicating artery arises from the posterior aspect of the internal carotid artery. It passes backward above the oculomotor nerve and anastomosis with the posterior cerebral artery, forming the circle of Willis around the interpendicular fossa. It supplies the medial surface of the thalamus and the walls of the third ventricles. Coming on to the choroidal artery. Choroidal artery is a small but constant branch of the internal carotid artery, arising distal to the ophthalmic artery but below the circle of Willis. Its size is small compared with that of cerebral surface artery branches, but its location make it an uncommon site of occlusion that causes stroke. In this table, I am showing the anastomosis between the internal and external carotid artery. First is between the dorsal nasal artery and the angular artery. Second is supraorbital artery and the frontal artery. Third is zygomatico artery and transverse facial artery. Branches of the posterior ethmoidal artery and the branches of the sphenopalatine artery. Cavernous branches and the middle meningeal artery. Circle of Willis. The circle of Willis, also called as Willis circle, loop of Willis, cerebral artery circle, Willis polygon, is a circulatory anastomosis that supplies blood to the brain and surrounding structures. It is named after Thomas Willis, an English physician. The circle of Willis is an arterial polygon formed as the internal carotid artery and vertebral system anastomosis around the optic chiasma and infundibulum. Circle of Willis is formed by two groups of arteries, the internal carotid arteries and two vertebral arteries. These arteries provide the anterior and posterior circulation of the brain respectively. The structures that contribute in formation of circle of Willis. In anterior circulation, the structures are internal carotid artery, middle cerebral artery, anterior cerebral artery, anterior communicating artery, posterior communicating artery. From the posterior circulation, the structures are vertebral artery, basilar artery, and posterior cerebral artery. What is the function of circle of Willis? The circle of Willis also allows blood to flow across the midline of the brain if an artery on one side is occluded. The circle of Willis thereby serves a safety valve function for the brain, allowing collateral circulation or flow of the blood through an alternate route to take place if the flow is reduced to one area. So we have discussed about internal carotid artery and circle of Willis. Thank you.